Hi, happy Monday. I am continuing to weave on my Raven's Tail robe. I'm Evelyn Vanderhoop, and I'm a Northwest Coast textile weaver, and I have been demonstrating and teaching throughout these videos. Today, I have something I've got to do. I finished the tops of the copper shield shape, and now it's important to add the T that is within that copper shield shape. That T is very important. In the Northwest Coast, copper shields are prestige items, and they could also be a crest of some people, some clans. And I know there's a clan from Kamshua, and they have the copper shield T, that inner T that is within that copper shield. They have that as their crest. So I know that the T of this copper shield is very important, and it needs to be part of my shape to really truly represent copper shields. In my family, we have stories that come from way back, and I remember someone telling me a story about how these copper shields were like money, and they increased their value with every change of hands, with every new owner who purchased it for so much, and then the next time it is purchased for more. And so as it ages, it increases in value. And it also collects its stories. And it's almost like the Velveteen Rabbit in the story, that it becomes rare. And they do gain names and value as their life lives on. But anyway, so there's a lot of culture and cultural elements in the copper shield. So I make sure I honor all of its importance while I'm weaving it, and hopefully I'll find a few stories about those copper shields that I can share with you as I'm weaving the rest of the copper shield. But today I am through with that upper area, and I want to now start drawing in with yarn this T. So I have been handling these shields. There's 10 of them all the way across the robe, and I've been handling them not one at a time, completing one and then moving on to the next. They have all been growing at the same chronological time here with every row I weave back and forth. So they're all at the same level. And that's an advantage for me right now, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a 3-strand braid all the way across the line of shields. And that is going to draw the top part of the T all at once. So it's also a good opportunity to teach you how to weave the 3-strand left as well as right. And you move your hands differently when you weave the 3-strand left or right. So usually, if I wasn't teaching or wanting to tell you these important techniques, I would start my 3-strand on the right or on the left, and then weave to the right, because that's how Raven's Tail robes were done. That you started your row and then you ended it here and tied off, and that's why there's all this fringe on the right. And then you hop over and you add a fringe on the left. But because I want to show you how to handle your hands that different way, depending on which direction you're weaving your 3-strand, what I'm going to do is make it harder on myself, and I'm going to weave a naaxiin 3-strand braided twine. Now I could easily start over here and do a 3-strand twine that's a raven's tail, and that would be very quick, and then I would finish it up here. And because it doesn't have the extra braid in it, so but I'm gonna set it up so that I can show you a naaxiin technique. And with the naaxiin, you enter your braids where you need them, and then you'll weave them. Usually I'll start my braids to the right or to the left and then weave to the right. But there are, in the shapes, there's times when you're going to need to weave from right to left, those braids. And so I'd like to show you that today. Thank you. So I said that you could start a 3-strand any place you want. So what I've done is found the center of my robe, and I've entered one weft, folded over, and it comes out. It's not actually wrapping around, it's behind like we've entered before. And so this weft is going off to that side, and this weft is going off towards the right. So you need to go over one warp and do the same. Really divide them. And then the third over a warp. The next warp, and then really divide them. So I'll weave from here towards the right to show you, and that's what I've been doing all along. So I'm going to take the working one, which when we're weaving in this direction, it will be this, what I call the back one. And it will go in front of, behind, and down where that front black one comes up, and behind, actually behind 2 warps. Because when you're doing these 3 strands in a straight line, which I'll be doing, you can go behind one, or you can be going behind 2 warps. You can move behind 2 warps instead of 1. And that will straighten that row up. Okay? So, again, this is what I've been demonstrating in the past, so this shouldn't be anything new. Okay, so this action one is going to go between its partners, in front of the middle one, in back of the front one, and then because these are black, it's hard to tell where that front one is coming out, right? But make sure you know. Okay, the action one goes in front of the middle one, in back of the front one, down where that front one comes out, and behind 2 warps and up. Make sure you don't let these braids get in your way. Okay, so again, this one goes in front of the middle, in back of the front, down where that front one comes out, and behind 2 and up. Okay. And when you find some of these wefts that have been dropped because you added them, they became small, short, and then you added new weavers, just enclose them in the warps that you're weaving amongst. Until you think that they've been tucked in enough, and then you can go to the back and needle them up. Or not even needle them up. If you've tucked them in, then you could go. Now even here, when I'm approaching the shield area, I'm going to switch to going behind just one. When I get to the shield, that's what I want to do. But when I get into the black area, now when you come through the blue area and you're going to be drawing that black row across the blue, you're going to find the blue weavers. They will have dropped. And do just as you did over here with those shorter wefts that you want to eventually get rid of. Just include them as you're weaving and weaving amongst the warps. Just include those wefts wherever they fell. Just include them. Now, when you get to the braids, just if you're going behind one, then take that last braid and include all the braids in that one. And now you're free to go behind two. Now, I'm able to do this, draw this one black line completely across the line of shields, like I said, because they're all in the same level. And the black field that they are sitting in, black and black, you don't see. So you're not going to really see this line of braiding unless you really looked close. So they'll get lost amongst the other black when you're weaving them across. Okay, so you see there I've drawn a line across that. And if you were to look up here to the previous ones, then you'll see the T's that I was talking about. So now I want to show you and illustrate how you would do the 3-strand going towards the left. So I've got 3 strands. Let's get these braids up and out of your way. Okay. And then we have the braid tails. Okay. So we're going to take these 3 strands, and this action one is the back one, weaving in this direction. So this one is the action one. It's going to go over the middle, under the front one, down where that front one came up, and behind 2. Okay, so over the middle, down where that front one comes up, and behind 2. Over the middle, down where the front one comes up, and behind 2. Okay, I'm going to hold these down a little bit so that you can see what I'm doing. So this is the back one. This is the action one. And here are its partners. So this action one goes over the middle, under the front one. Okay? Over the middle, under the front one, and down where that one front one comes out. See that? And now I'm reaching the section where the blue shield starts. Now, my last row, I put all of the braid tails in one warp on the blue side. So I'm going to go over, under, down where that one comes up, and then behind one, because I'm starting to be in the blue area where I want to go just behind one. So this action one is the back one. It goes over the middle, under the front one, and behind one. So over, under, behind one, and up. Okay. This one goes over, under, that's how it moves through its partners, and then behind one and up. And like I said earlier, this is one of the blue weavers, and you're going to be using it again. So enclose it in the warp where it falls next to. And then move on. The action one is your back one. It goes over, under its partners, down where that first one comes up, and behind one and up. It's awkward at first because you're weaving in a different direction than you're used to if you're a Raven's Tailer. Okay, over, under, behind, and up. Now, if you noticed, I made sure that these blue weavers are below now, they're below that 3-strand, and they're just 2 warps apart. You don't want to drift them into beyond each other. Okay. So over, under, behind one, and up. Over, under, behind one, and up. So I'm drawing a line with a black line across my shields that establish the top of the T. That is so important. So I enclosed them in that last row. I enclosed the vertical braid tails all within the blue side. And so they're all together. So that makes it easier. So over, under, and then all of these blue tails are enclosed with this last enclosure of the blue copper shield. So I enclose them and move on. And now I'm going to go back to behind 2 and up. And that isn't necessarily just a time saver. It also helps your lines be smoother when you're doing straight horizontal braids. So there you have it. That is the movement. And the more you do it, the less cumbersome it feels. So there you go. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hella.